Hi, and welcome to another episode of Emerald Isle Vacation Home Specialist. I am your host, Dennis Richkovsky. Some of you recognize me as the co-owner of Flip Flops Donuts, and some of you know me as your broker of real estate who specializes in waterfront and waterview properties along the Crystal Coast, especially on Bogue Banks and in my town of Emerald Isle, North Carolina. On this channel, you will find essential information from the inside scoops on buying and selling houses to how to live with the ocean, rivers, and sounds that define the Crystal Coast. Today's episode is all about golf. Whether you visit here occasionally or live here full-time, getting to know about the golfing options on Bogue Banks is a story worth telling. Before I begin, please subscribe to my video channel now or at the end of this episode. Golf on Bogue Banks begins and ends with the Crystal Coast Country Club, a semi-private club nestled on the sound side of Bogue Banks in the town of Pine Knoll Shores. The club features a newly renovated championship golf course that boasts spectacular views of the sound running alongside the course. New tee boxes, fairways, greens, bunkers, cart paths, bridges, bulkheads, as well as new golf carts equipped with GPS. The golf course has been fitted with Celebration Bermuda grass on the tee boxes, 419 Tifway Bermuda grass in the fairways, and Sunday Ultra Dwarf Bermuda grass on the greens for an ultimate playing experience. A new practice putting and chipping green opened in 2021 behind number 1 tee box to allow for warm-up putts before teeing off. But it wasn't always this way. The only golf complex on Bogue Banks got its start back in 1969 when the Roosevelt estate conveyed 100 acres of land to a group of North Carolina developers headed by Gus Wirtz. The covenants attached to the deed stipulated that a golf course was to be built on the property. Construction of the first 9 holes of a course then known as the Pine Knoll Shores Golf and Country Club began in 1970. Wirtz et al. Sold the club to Autry and Associates during 1972, and in 1973, Autry et al. Built the original clubhouse, completed the second 9 holes, constructed the club's tennis courts and swimming pool, and installed sprinkler systems to irrigate portions of the fairways as well as tees and greens. The club also had a new name, the Bogue Banks Country Club. In 1974, the original clubhouse was moved to the tennis court area where it has served as the tennis pro shop ever since. Construction of a new 2-story clubhouse and pro shop began in March of that year. At the close of 1974, the club had its new clubhouse, but the golf course was not in first-class condition, and Autry was in a financial bind. East Federal Savings and Loan, which held a first mortgage on the property, initiated foreclosure proceedings and took possession of the club in the fall of 1975. During 1976 and 1977, East Federal, in an effort to satisfy its mortgage claim, decided to turn a portion or even all of the golf course and its associated structures into residential home sites. That idea, as well as foreclosure, were forestalled on the Carteret County Courthouse steps when 3 members of the club put up $35,000 to make the mortgage payment. A few years later, another foreclosure was avoided when the club took out a new mortgage under less onerous terms. In 1980, 2 contracts were signed with the Roosevelt stipulating payments to the club in return for reserving memberships for buyers of the Roosevelt's residential lots, condominiums, and other developments. This arrangement dovetailed nicely with the growth of Pine Knoll Shores in the 1980s and 1990s. Membership grew and the club became the focus of the social lives of new residents looking to make new friends in their island paradise. Parties were organized for every major holiday. There was a monthly covered dish dinner on Sundays, and on a Thursday night each month there was men's night, and male members prepared a meal. These events were very well attended. And while this membership growth and membership participation was highly beneficial for the club and its finances, there were some drawbacks. Space in the now aging clubhouse became limited, and many members suddenly found it difficult to buy tickets to certain social activities. Also, the old clubhouse began to suffer from some serious settling problems. This became so extreme that at one point the town's building inspector hired an engineering firm to determine if the building was safe for occupancy. Dissatisfaction began to grow among the membership. To address the dissatisfaction, the club proposed the design and construction of a new clubhouse. This proposal was met with much disapproval due to increased membership fees, and membership declined once more. The new clubhouse design took almost 3 years, and during that time, membership levels continued to fall and eventually reached the point that the planned construction was delayed for a year to see if conditions would improve. Sadly, they did not. Eventually, the club had to construct a new building and did so with an entirely new design. In 2007, Bogue Banks Country Club was renamed the Country Club of the Crystal Coast. The grand opening of the new club was celebrated, and the club began what it hoped to be a new chapter in its life, albeit with a new mortgage to pay for the renovations. A few lean years were experienced, and although new members continued to enter the club's ranks, as other improvements such as a new swimming pool, beautiful dining facilities, better course maintenance, and a more congenial atmosphere were put in place, there were also member resignations. The result, stagnated club growth, a stagnation familiar to many golf course complexes. Then, in the fall of 2018, Hurricane Florence arrived. It left in its wake damaged buildings and a ravaged golf course. Lacking sufficient funds, once again, the club was sold, this time to PKS-CC LLC, and was renamed the Crystal Coast Country Club. The new ownership improved the clubhouse, the golf course, pool facility, maintenance facility, and tennis center. Proper equipment was purchased to maintain the golf course and grounds. New activities centers such as pickleball courts and an exercise room were added. Concomitant with all these improvements, membership exceeded all expectation. Today, the Crystal Coast Country Club is not only a premier golfing experience, but also a mecca for weddings and outside events. Today, the course is 6,004 yards from the tips and plays to a par of 70. The club is semi-private with morning tee times reserved for members. Afternoon tee times are available for non-members and members alike for a fee of around $65 to $90 depending on the day and time. The course gets good marks for course condition, pace of play, value, and staff friendliness. To learn more about golfing along the Crystal Coast, subscribe to my newsletter by texting your email address to 919-308-2292, or sign up for my blog on my website, www.eihomesforsale.com, and subscribe to Emerald Isle Vacation Home Specialist on YouTube at the end of this video. Stay well and stay safe. So come on down, please subscribe to my channel below, and definitely return next week to the same bat channel at the same bat time of 9 a.m. on Thursday for yet another episode of Emerald Isle Vacation Home Specialist.